Are we all set, Mr. Bjorn?
Yep, it looks like we've got a majority of members on both the House and the Senate. I think we're just
Okay.
missing Senator Carlson.
Okay, wonderful. All right, we'll go ahead and get started then, members. I'll call the meeting to order of the State Government and Veterans and Military Affairs Omnibus Bill. Today being Saturday, May 8th, 2021 for the audio record here. And so with that, members, we have a proposed agreement that was previously sent out and also emailed out to members. I will assume everybody has received it. If you have not, please raise your hand and let us know if you do not have it. And staff will watch for it and will help you make sure you have everything you need. Okay, I'm not seeing anything right now, so we'll just go ahead. And so Representative Nelson and I, Chair Nelson and I, met and discussed the military affairs, same similar, and we have a proposed agreement. And also in addition to that, we'll just talk about section 12. They're identical, but we had some concerns about their interaction with the rest of the bill. We just wanted to be sure and have the advantage of all the staff with us at that time. But at this time, if you'll note on the proposed agreement that in the previous chart that you would have received earlier, the first 1, 2, 3 sections were, actually the first 4 sections were identical. And then there were 2 sections after that that were slightly technically different, and we took the staff recommendations there. And so the document you have in front of you reflects that. So the first one is in regards to Veteran Suicide Prevention and Awareness Day. So that language is the same, just clarifies the name. And also coordinating activities on the day of observance to raise awareness, to promote. And also I think what we really added to this that made a difference was the prevention. Critically important to do prevention. The next one, any questions on the Veteran Suicide Prevention and Awareness Day? I see no hands. Okay, the next one is Veterans Affairs Publicity Representative Authorized. The Department of Veterans Affairs is added to the list of agencies that are exempt from the prohibition on using funds to pay the salary or expenses of a publicity representative. Again, that was same language. Adjutant General, any questions on that section about Veterans Affairs Publicity Representative Authorization? Okay, seeing none. The next one is Adjutant General. And I really appreciate this language. It's so easy because it's the same to miss out on just how important this is. Changes to the Adjutant General. This is the process of the governor making his appointment, has times in here, requires the rank of Major General on the date of the governor's appointment, just clarifies some things so that when you're in the situation of a new Adjutant General, that everybody knows the process. And I think this is just really good and really important. And it is the same in both the House and the Senate, same language. So that is the Adjutant General topic. Any questions regarding that? Okay, I don't see any. The next one. Can I get staff, Ms. White, can you take a look at this? What I have on the proposed agreement has 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, okay, we're good. And then on 4, Veteran Stable Housing Initiative. Again, it's the same in both the House and the Senate. This is allowing the commissioner to establish a veteran stable housing initiative and so on. Private data as well. shared with members of the Minnesota Interagency Council on Homelessness, Homeless Veteran Registry Partners to expedite the coordination of homeless efforts. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, and 4 would be taken from the Senate language, reminding you they're identical. And on section 4, that will come from the House. And also sections 5 through 8, which has to do with the GI Bill. In particular, sections, Ms. White, this is getting, if you would talk about the Minnesota GI Bill for us, because there's some areas here for the House, Senate.
Yes, Madam Chair and members. These sections make technical changes and they restructure the subdivision so that it's for clarity. And there is also, and the technical difference is that the House numbers the clauses, which is the appropriate way to have it in statute. So that's why the staff recommends the House purely technical. Would you like to talk about the revisor instruction right now too?
Not quite yet.
Okay. So staff would recommend House sections 5 to 8.
Right. Okay, and then there is the, on page R8, Senate language, section 10. Would you go over section 10, Ms. White?
Yes, Madam Chair and members. This section added 2 new programs under the supplemental programs statute. And the only difference between the House and Senate is that the Senate put one program in paragraph B and the House put it in paragraph C. There's no substantive difference. It's just where we place the 2 new programs under this under this section of law.
And the staff recommended the Senate for section 10, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So members, that's the explanation. Does anybody have questions at all? Chair Nelson, would you like to comment on this?
Let me unmute myself here. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like the order of the House. No, I'm just kidding on section 10. No, I that's what we agreed to. They're all of this language is essentially the same language, just with a couple of minor differences.
Okay.
And so I recommend, if you want, Madam Chair, I'll move that those sections as you've described them are in the document that we have. Move approval of putting these sections, Senate section 1, section 2, Senate section 4, House section 4, House sections 5 through 8, and House section 9, or excuse me, Senate section 10 into the bill.
Okay, on that motion, everybody, any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion prevails and is adopted. And then we'll go to section 12. Ms. White, would you just, when Chair Nelson and I were discussing this last night, we were just not quite sure. We didn't want to take a step that section 12, this is reviser's instructions. And we were just concerned, and members, this is on page R18. And this is section 12 in the House. And it happens to be, fortunately, section 12 also in the Senate. They are identical, but our concern, Ms. White, was that if we adopt section 12, is that tied to any other sections that we're dealing with in our conference committee today?
Yes, Madam Chair and members. Section 12 was part of the bill that did the technical changes to the Minnesota GI sections of law. This was an MDVA bill, and actually it passed last year, but it wasn't COVID related, so it wasn't included in the legislation that passed last session. But what this does is that you'll see that there's programs under subdivision 5A, 5B, and an appropriation under subdivision 6. What this does is it clarifies that These programs are distinct and separate programs under the Minnesota GI statute and not a subset of subdivision 5A. Apparently, there is some confusion when people working with these programs thought that they were, for some reason, associated with subdivision 5, which is the general GI education program, but these are actually distinct separate programs, and so they wanted to have distinct separate subdivisions. It's purely technical. It's only to help people who work with these programs to clarify that they're separate in statute.
Thank you, Ms. White. Would you also clarify for me and Chair Nelson that adopting these has no effect on any other articles that we're dealing with in the conference committee?
That's correct.
All right.
So
I think
Madam
that was-
Chair,
Yes, Chair Nelson.
I'll move that we include Senate Section 12. It's on page R18 of the side-by-side into the conference committee report.
Thank you for that motion. I was just going to ask first that from your House side, we heard Ms. White, who is a nonpartisan staff for the Senate, but I would just like to have a confirmation if your nonpartisan staff for Military Veterans Affairs is here. I think
Mr.
that's
Diebel.
Mr. Diebel.
Yeah, good morning, Senator. Concur with Ms. White's assessment of that provision as purely technical.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think it's always good to hear from both of those folks. They both work very hard and are very involved in this, and I know they work together. So we appreciate that. So on that motion from Chair Nelson in regards to adopting the Section 12 on the
Be on page R18 of the
On page-
side-by-side.
on page R18, we'll take the House language. I think that's important for staff to just, for them to follow through. I was looking for what was the one before it because
Madam Chair, the one before it was Senate, and my motion was to use the Senate language
oh, okay, I missed that piece.
for that
Okay,
same reason. Yeah, but that one before it was Senate.
Okay, all right. So I'll move, so the motion from Chair Nelson is to take Section 12 on page R18 on the reviser's instructions from line 153.26 down to 154.4. On that motion, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion prevails and is adopted. Okay, members, that is official business that we have before us today. Chair Nelson, do you want to comment or?
Madam Chair, we're still working on the restorative justice to get that language right on both sides. And so hopefully we can come to some understanding on that before the end of session so that I think that's important to get in the bill this year. The only other thing I would ask about is the articles dealing with the military justice piece that came from that was actually administrative technical stuff. When we'll discuss that, I guess is the question I have. I think there's agreement on most of that, but I will defer to you when you want to discuss that. But that's something we need to bring forward also. Again, that came from the veterans and military affairs people.
Yeah, there's a lot of language here, Chair Nelson, and we just are not prepared to say yes to any of it. But I will mention, though, that there is a portion, I'm trying to find it here, maybe staff can help. There was a portion where I believe there was a portion of this, my understanding from staff is that we took a portion of this into the judiciary bill. And this had to do with assault cases that were within the National Guard And when it's totally within, I'm explaining it, but we ended up putting that, we did adopt that and put that into the judiciary bill. And so that is where that piece is at. And so we don't want to get crosswise with what another conference committee is doing in regards to that. But there's a lot of new language. And for us, I'm not prepared to delve into all of that language. It's a number of articles, a number of things. I cannot say whether we agree or disagree or where we disagree because it is a lot of language.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's the question I have. Otherwise, I think we're working well together. And Madam Chair, I believe we got the majority of same and similars done except for the election piece. There are some same and similars there. I think next week we probably are going to want to, well, hopefully we'll get our targets and then we can start working on the money side of it. But we probably starting next week till we get those targets, we should probably start working on the stuff that we have differences on and work through those and vote in or out or try to vote in or vote out the pieces that we do or don't want. So I think that's what we have to look forward to next week. Madam Chair.
Right. So members, we will be having, and we also are authorized to meet in the evenings. So I would highly encourage all of you to keep that in mind and that this is going on with all conference committees. And I think if we have Mother's Day tomorrow, by the way, happy Mother's Day to everybody. And I would also say that the chair and I will try and do this kind of work. I know it seems shorter today, but I think it does expedite and make good use of our time. And Chair Nelson and I have had a good process here of discussing those things, even though we're only on same and similar, but it's a good exercise nonetheless to get familiar with that as we go forward. And so, Mr. Chair, I've also noticed that you have noticed the conference committee for Monday morning.
Madam Chair, that's correct. And then, like I said, we're not sure what we're going to take up yet Monday morning. Probably pick one of the sections that we have done the same and similars and start walking through the differences that we have and discuss those and maybe take some votes on trying to work through those and deal with them. So, Madam Chair, that's what I intend right now for Monday. So unless we get agreement on the restorative justice, I think we talked last night that possibly Tuesday might have some people in from the courts to talk about that piece.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I think that when we talk about stakeholders, sometimes here we're having all this conversation about courts and we've heard from other stakeholders, but I think it's important to hear from them as well. So yes, that'd be my intention on Tuesday to do that. Also, members, so Chair Nelson, just to let you know, I am available Sunday evening.
Okay.
If we can do something like we have before on same similars on the elections piece to have something ready for Monday. Otherwise, I don't know everybody's else's plans, but just to mention to it. And
if we get through that, Madam Chair, we can move on. We could do that Monday morning also. So,
right, if it works.
If it works.
Okay. All right, members, with that, I don't think we have any other business. Are there any other questions from members?
Madam Chair, one more thing. And it's a slight poke. It's a slight poke at Mr. Bjorn. The email he sent out this morning with the documents for the committee, it said senators and staff. So I'm just wondering if we're staff on the House side or if and I know it's probably his normal heading when he sends stuff out, but I just thought.
Mr. Chair, would you consider that a promotion or a demotion? I guess that would be the question.
Nelson, I apologize that It's my usual go-to for emails, so I will get that fixed.
No, it was pointed out to me by Representative Nash in a text, and I just for a little levity this morning that actually a staff, most of us staff would be a raise. So I think it might be a promotion.
Yes, I'm just gonna say. I think we're the cheapest ones on the, for the most part. At any rate, okay, members, thank you for bringing that to our attention, Representative Nelson, and we'll work on that. With that, members, we've completed our business and we stand adjourned.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too.